Welcome everyone. Sorry for being absent for almost a year, but so many things happened in 2023 that consumed all my time. First of all, a major bucket list item has been accomplished. After the trip, we started the renovation of our house. The whole renovation took 5 months. I could barely drive my Speedster during that time, and I also developed some trust issues towards the car. So I decided to monitor live data about the operation of the engine. But I didn't want to add a bunch of gauges to the dashboard. I've already had an OBD reader with Bluetooth connection, so I started to fancy digital dashboards and head units with reasonably sized screens. And with a big screen, I can resolve another issue. As I started to use the Speedster more often, I realized that reversing is not that simple with the car, because you cannot see anything from the driver's seat behind the car, like curbs, blocks, or potholes. So I've decided to improve visibility with the help of a backup camera. To route the cables, I needed to remove the middle section of the undertray. I didn't want to drill any holes, especially into the aluminium monocoque. The camera wiring is following the transmission cables into the cabin. To properly route the wiring, it's better to remove the dashboard cover. Need to take off the dashboard panels, held by tapes and plastic clips. Remove light switches to get access to the board next to the steering column. If the switches were in my hand, then it was time to address a new problem. At any time when I tried to turn on my fog lights, the switches immediately sprung back into off position. After unplugging the connectors, you can simply slide the switches out of the frame from the back to the front, one by one. Use something flat to carefully open the housing. No rush, take your time. Didn't find any damage, just cleaned and lubricated the mechanism. Now we can undo the 4 bolts holding the whole cover. Don't forget to remove the steering column covers to get to the 2 bolts that retains the gauge cluster and the cowl. Be careful, the cowl and the dashboard must lift together, otherwise the cowl will bend and crack. Sadly mine's been already had a big crack, but I didn't want to completely break it. It wasn't too dirty, but I cleaned the cover, then applied some plastic care. I also cleaned the inside of the dashboard, as some dirt accumulated over time. Routed the camera wire properly and also concealed the GPS and a Wi-Fi antenna in the dashboard. The steering column covers had that rubberized coating on them, but at a point it turned into a sticky, disgusting filth. I've decided to get rid of it using some acetone. Putting back the dashboard cover can also be a bit tricky. Guide pins are holding the cover under the bottom of the windshield. It takes some wiggle to hook them into their cavities. Then carefully attach the cluster to the cover and align everything in place. Put back the bolts. It's a pain if you drop the bolts into the dashboard, coming from my own experience. The welder's magnet came handy to retrieve fugitive bolts. Dashboard panels and switches coming next. Then connect the antennas and the camera to the head unit. After that, it can occupy its place. Finally, I attached the screen and tested the main functions. I've tried two more expensive and well-branded head units before I ordered this Joying Audio head unit. Not the price tag was the main factor. The size of the screen was perfect for the Speedster, not to mention its versatile mounting system. But above all, this unit comes with a full Android 12 operating system, without any limitations, so I can easily download my favorite navigation and car diagnostic software from Google Play Store. The car was clean and ready to get to a car meeting. Parked it to the street. Because I knew the driveway would be soon blocked by construction materials for the house. But on the weekend, on 2 consecutive nights, 2 gigantic thunderstorms hit the area. Each were raging for at least 4 hours. At the time there was no roof on the house. Only a bare concrete slab was protecting us from the storm. But this video is not about our house. So let's get back to the car. At the end of next week, the driveway freed up, so I could move back the Speedster from the street. The car started with familiar and disappointing symptoms. Rough idle, poor throttle response, with cherry on top, the engine stalled randomly. My first thought was all the attempts to fix the fuel tank were probably a waste of time. But I tried to keep my calm and started with the ignition first before dropping the fuel tank for 167th time. Let's take out the ignition coil. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
All spark plug pockets were full of water.
I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's completely soaking in water.
Luckily, it's not oil, just rain collected in the pockets. The 4 spark plugs were completely submerged in water. The mesh on the lid won't protect the engine bay from any fine dust or water. The recipe for the makeshift water extractor is the following. First, have a shop vacuum, a piece of silicone hose and some duct tape, and just combine them. Before removing the spark plugs, need to extract all the water from these buckets, because water can ruin the engine if it gets into the combustion chambers.
motor came out from every spark plug socket. Nice amount of rust on the spark plug boot. Some rust tend to build up on the cylinder heads even in normal conditions. The natural moisture from the air can collect and stay in crevices. Just make sure. Cleaning and drying the coil pack can be a smart and cheap solution. Dry cleaner. But I had a spare coil pack from earlier, so I replaced it later on the following day. Also changed the spark plugs and the engine oil, just in case. Not that expensive and better safe than sorry. Running fine, but check live data if the problems are gone. The idling RPM seems fine. It's around 800. It was way down earlier, under 700. The coolant is at 64 degrees Celsius. Here you can see my boost. Intake air temperature 33. And the fuel trim went back okay. It's a little bit higher, especially at idling. There is no hesitation. Let's put back the rack top. Just use the 7 series. Just use the 7 series. Okay, place. The roof is on, my dog's here. This means this is the end of the video. Hopefully soon I can provide you a long-term review on the Speedster. Can it be a proper daily driver? How often can you use it? And the best and the worst parts of owning a car like that. For until, thanks for watching. Bye!